TV, newspapers, movies, just anything that gets information across to a big group of people.
It's information, it's content, it's an outlet.
I think in a lot of ways it's changing to more of like two-way communication. So maybe 100 years ago they had newspapers and ads and it was sent to the consumer, and I think now with things like social media, the consumer is really able to communicate.
So I would consider media anything that connects you to something that you otherwise wouldn't have been able to connect with. Anything that's media, so the news, any kind of, it's mostly technological, I would say.
I guess, how would you say that your parents' generation is different from your generation and how you see and use media?
Back in the day, it was like if you wanted to ask someone out, you'd have to call them,
right.
Actually go to them. Yeah. Nowadays, it's like, oh, I can sit here and think about what I'm going to say for
right.
a couple days, and then, you know, it's just, it's different. Like,
They were, not that they were limited, but they definitely had less opportunities to be exposed to as much media as we do now. I feel like it's occupied such a larger role in our lives than it did in theirs.
They see it as a nuisance, for sure. Because people nowadays, they tweet about everything, like what they're having for dinner, how often they've breathed in a minute, you know, like just random crap that nobody cares about.
They're still kind of stuck on TV, I think, is like their primary thing, and radio.
The way I get a job now is probably not through the way my mom got her job, you know, through career fairs. Career fairs are great, but like to make connections through social media, through the digital technological age is tremendous now, and it can make or break you, honestly. If you're not aware with it, if you're not hip with it, it's essential.
I do not subscribe to a newspaper. My roommate doesn't. I don't know if I ever will.
If I'm on my way to Library West, I just like to pick up the paper and, you know, read what's going on, but I could usually just get it online.
I get coupons from them.
Okay, all right.
For everything that you see in the newspaper, you can find on the internet, and it's free, and it's way faster, and wherever I am, I can just, you know, look it up.
I really do feel like newspaper sticks to traditional, you know, media type reporting things, you know, whereas the digital versions can kind of get misconstrued and just kind of quality or quantity over quality.
There's like something about tangibly feeling a paper and like reading it versus seeing it on a screen, and I like that a lot.
Are there any occasions where you might have a traditional magazine or not really?
Yeah, the airport.
Yeah.
Flying is the only time I ever get a magazine.
The beach sometimes, but usually not really.
Sometimes I'm in the grocery store line, I'll scope it out and like randomly buy a random magazine, but it's just really random, sporadic.
Magazines. I don't read magazines. I don't think I've ever bought a magazine in my life.
A lot of the magazines that I read, like entertainment or music ones, like they have websites, and I always read them online, so rarely do I read magazines.
I'll pick one up if there's something super exciting on the cover, like when Kate Middleton was getting married, like I was all about that.
I hear a lot of radio, like the shift's 3 hours, so the radio's on for 3 hours. I normally stick to 1 or 2 stations. A general top 40 station, and then another station.
The amount of commercials, and they have a lot of like talking going on. Like the amount of music is just not enough compared to what you get using Pandora.
I don't want to hear the same song 3 times in 2 hours.
Is there anything, I mean, specifically that you like about Spotify, maybe as opposed to Pandora, or?
Yeah, I really like Pandora for hearing new types of music through my stations.
Pandora got annoying for me just because it would play the same songs like on a loop if you got on one radio station. So I switched over to Spotify, and you know, you can make playlists with whatever songs you want, and then you've got all the music that you actually want to listen to on that playlist. You can download the songs straight to your phone too if you have premium. So it's essentially like having the entire iTunes library on your phone for $10 a month.
I just don't like that Pandora, you can't pick what song is coming up next. It just kind of goes wherever it wants and repeats a bunch of songs.
When my friend showed me Spotify and how you can have it on your phone, and so I have all the music I had and so much more, and it takes up the space that the app does because it streams it.
What are your thoughts on file sharing sites? And
I don't really use it as much now.
Okay.
Not like based off the legality. I just don't feel like downloading stuff. I don't know. 'Cause, like
Okay.
my phone doesn't have that much memory on it, so I don't like want to download songs on it. But I don't know. Yeah, I've kind of shifted away from the file sharing sites.
Yep.
I used to use LimeWire before it got shut down
Okay.
for music.
I'm a college kid. I don't have all the money in the world, so like paying for Spotify $10 a month isn't. Some people's like, oh, it's only $10, but you know that $10 for me could be used for something else.
Sure.
And then as far as like movies and stuff go and like TV shows, if it's not on Netflix, then I'll just find it online. Like just wait like an hour and it's somewhere online, and you can just Google it.
I'm more of a traditional TV kind of person. I don't have a Netflix account. I don't have Hulu or anything like that. So whatever TV shows I watch, I do watch on TV. Because I don't know, I like the feeling of just sitting in your living room watching TV.
At the end of the day, like I just want to like breathe. So my way to do that is I put my phone away, surprisingly, and I turn on the TV. It's just something that I can just like, it's brainless. I don't have to like think about it. It's just kind of like a relaxing thing. Turn the sleep on and it turns itself off.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm a sucker for Jeopardy. Yeah, like I do my best to try and make it, you know, every night of the week that I can. Occasionally, Comedy Central, Cartoon Network, just things like that. HBO, we have an HBO channel on our TV in the apartment, so I'll have that on occasionally.
We don't have cable, and it's fine. Like, my parents have cable when I used to live there. I mean, I would watch TV just because I had it, but when I didn't have cable, it's not like I felt like I was missing something.
I can't remember last time that I actually turned on the TV to watch anything other than a basketball game or football game.
Not much even used for like TV anymore unless it's sports related.
The other thing I would watch is sports.
Okay.
And then sports. And that's like the only thing I would ever need cable for.
Cable's gone up too in price, and I feel like most people only watch maybe 3 or 4 channels. And so like why pay like $70 for a bunch of channels I'm never gonna watch?
I don't have enough time to like watch TV or like make room in my schedule to watch that show right then when I can go back on the computer and watch it later.
I just have like a smart TV where I can like go through my TV onto Netflix or like plug my computer in through an HDMI. So yeah, I wish I could just like, you know, go through the channels.
There's also one of those like live streaming websites, like Project Free TV, like literally an hour after it's aired, you're able to watch it.
To solve the problem of not having a TV, I would plug my laptop into my TV using the HDMI cable. And so that's actually nice because like it's even better than TV almost because like since it's the internet, like I can put like YouTube videos on there, I can put on Netflix on there, Hulu Plus, just a bunch of random stuff that I want to watch.
You know, I'm not going to watch like a rerun episode of Modern Family or something when I could just, you know, watch it on the TV, plug the cord into the TV, sit with my friends, and start it when we want to start it, not like, oh, it's at 9 o'clock, it's starting.
Netflix also has their own shows now.
Yeah.
So, and which to me are almost better than most shows on TV right now anyways. And they just put the whole season at once instead of like releasing them one at a time.
On Facebook, something really cool when it comes to group projects is making groups, specific groups or whatever, that you only let certain people in. And so there you can just like post random things. Oh, I worked on this. Oh, you need to do this. We need to put this together. Google Docs really help a lot with that. So that everyone can add in whatever they feel and everyone edits their other stuff. And on the side you can leave comments and you can, it's really good for everyone to just work on the same thing even if they're not in the same room.
College students, I guess, like if we have something that we need to do for our homework, like I know with my interior design class, like we're all in a group on Facebook. So if I have like a concerning question with one of my classmates, like I'm definitely able to be like, guys, like can you help me out here?
We have group projects that we communicate through over Facebook. We have our teaching assistants on Facebook as well, moderating some of these groups who are responsible for creating the groups.
Facebook and Instagram are pretty much a constant in my life. I scroll through the same things 9 times a day.
I use that an unbelievable amount. Like, and I don't think I'm the only one. I think that's kind of it's weird when someone doesn't have a Facebook.
I spend so much time on Facebook as it is, and honestly, I don't even know what I do because I don't upload photos. Normally, I don't post statuses. Like, for the amount of time I'm on there, it's really sad because I don't know what I'm doing on there.
I feel like nowadays social media, it's given people a stage to kind of share things that they normally wouldn't. nowadays, just based off the people I've made friends with, I feel like it's a place to either brag or complain.
When you post something on Facebook, you want to get it for like a lot of likes. That's how people do it. And
Right.
when you post a status, like unless it's the most brilliant or funny status ever, you're not really gonna get like that many, unless it's like a life event. That's what people post
Right.
life events. So it's
So with Facebook now, do you feel like it has changed, it has evolved since the days you were in high school?
Without a doubt. I mean, when I first got on it, it was, parents had no clue, what Facebook was. They, they didn't want their kids getting it. They thought it was bad. You can find creepers on there, all this stuff. And the next thing you know, they're on there posting pictures of their children and their weddings.
I used to be more active on like Facebook and stuff like that back in the day. Like, I remember when I was in high school, like just like stupid stuff like basketball games.
Yeah.
I would just write whatever was going on in the game. And then I don't know, as I kind of like grown and everything like that, I kind of like dialed it back and kind of used it just like to connect with people and stuff like that.
In the beginning, when I first got it, like in high school, it was just like, it was kind of like I just would post whatever, like random pictures, random sites, and like I felt like there would be no what's it called when I can't find the word, like repercussions, yeah.
Okay.
But like as I got to UF and like my parents started making Facebook and adding me, like some professors, some like really important people, and what I consider important started adding me. Like Facebook kind of like it's just like more of like I'm gonna share my photos, I'm gonna share like my status updates with like cool things that's going on with my life, but like it's kind of like just like a good representation. Yeah, it's a filtered good representation of me.
People not like necessarily in Gainesville. Is a big part of Facebook for me. Not necessarily, I'll like update a picture, but like put a caption to it. I'm not like, oh my god, going to blah blah. Like I believe that's what Twitter is for.
The social connections are getting broader but shallower. Because like I follow half the people I follow on Twitter, I do not know, and they're like my idols.
I feel like Twitter is so much like less engaging and less gratifying as Facebook is. Because first of all, there's not as many people on Twitter as there are on Facebook. So that means less favorites, like equivalent to likes. I mean, retweets aren't really like that great, like whatever. Like someone like thinks the same things I do, like cool.
Right.
I don't know, it just feels like everyone's talking and no one's listening.
Twitter will always be like me going on rants, me just like talking smack, me telling you how my day is. Instagram is kind of like I think Instagram kind of is what I used to think of Facebook back in like I kind of like it's my go-to app kind of in a way other than Twitter, in which I just I post you post pictures and like I like post pictures of like what I'm doing.
I use Instagram and Twitter to learn about different people that are doing different things all around the world.
Okay.
So that's why I tend to go on Twitter and Instagram more.
Okay.
But Facebook is definitely like my way to communicate with people, my close friends and family.
Snapchat is bananas. People are completely abusing Snapchat nowadays and sending way too many selfies, and they're just it's not interesting enough. People will just it's Twitter, but even more boring and even more just no one cares.
We like the exclusivity of Snapchat. We like how it's only us. We can control who we send what to. It's not just kind of you put on Facebook, everyone gets to see it. You can target, be specific.
Have any of you posted Vine?
I have.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It was just one of my friends at the gym. She was being stupid, so I put it up.
LinkedIn is really big now. I know I went to that broadcasting convention 2 weeks ago, and everyone was like, yeah, you should probably get a LinkedIn just to get, have a more professional social media platform.
I didn't realize how many professionals that I knew personally were on it, and that they have connections that I might not even have thought of.
YouTube is phenomenal.
Because
okay.
you can pretty much find any music on there. You can find full albums that just stream. So you don't have to like pay for Spotify. You can just play the album without commercials. It's just someone happened to upload. I mean, it might not be the best quality all the time, but just for like casual listening. And like there's so many videos on there. You can literally search anything and watch anything, keep you entertained.
YouTube is also a great escape just from stress of everyday life. You like the stupid cat videos.
Live performances, you can't really see anywhere else. Like there are people that upload concerts.
Khan Academy is like a tutoring type thing. He's got thousands of videos on there. He made them all himself essentially for all the different subjects, and I'm using it to study for the MCAT.
Jenna Marbles, for
Yes.
example,
Oh,
like
yeah.
I love
Okay.
watching those types of videos. Or there's people who like will do hair and makeup tutorials and stuff. Like there are people who like constantly are posting their own videos. Like I love to subscribe to them and watch them.
Like they have like how-to videos, and I've gone
Yeah.
to YouTube before to like learn how to literally do something. So it's not just like entertainment.
For me, like I like to chat with friends while I watch a TV show. Especially we're watching the same thing, so like we can still be engaged without actually physically being there.
Actually, when I'm running on the treadmill sometimes, I'll watch TV. But
Depending on what the TV show is and what's happening, I would tweet about it. I tweeted a lot during the Super Bowl.
I like having Twitter up during a game or doing a specific show I like.
Music and TV, no way. Internet
Okay.
or like newspaper and TV, I don't think that's ever happened.
Like I would never turn on the TV as background noise. Like I am either watching the show or like not watching the show and it's not on.
Facebook with like Hulu and Netflix, Facebook with Pinterest. Oh, and maybe also if you think about Pandora and Spotify, like that's like there too. So like that's like the mom that's like always, or if we think of an umbrella, like that's the umbrella, and then Facebook's like the biggest thing under the umbrella. And then like there's TV, Pinterest, texting.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's a good.
With music, I cannot study. I can study without music. It just depends on like what type of music it is.
I find it distracting when I'm riding my bike or my scooter because I can't hear what's going on, so I try and avoid that.
So whenever I'm on Facebook, doing anything online that doesn't require me like listening to an audio, like a video, I'll be listening to music while I do it.
A lot of the stuff that I do for studying is like watching online lectures or things that audio is already there, so I can't like use music as an audio source for that.
Doritos did something like for the Super Bowl where they have people like submit.
Oh yeah, submit their
ads and everything like that.
competition.
And they use them in like the actual like Super Bowl ad. I thought that was kind of cool.
I know Family Guy, I like them on Facebook, so they'll be like, tune in tonight to catch, so-and-so, so maybe it'll spark my interest a little more to go and want to watch it.
It's very instant, so if, let's say, someone that's famous tweets something that's really offensive to a lot of people, it's harder to retract what they say, rather than, if it's like print, people edit it and people, it goes through a lot of people before it's broadcasted to the world.
Besides over-posting and just too frequently and trying too hard, if you like a page and then they wind up just non-stop, filling up your newsfeed, it'll turn you off, it'll make you not want the product anymore.
I was actually vehemently against Twitter when everyone else had a Twitter. I did not want one, and I was just like, that's stupid. And then I was kind of coaxed into getting one by my friends. And I'm really glad I did, because I use it a lot now.
They got me into Reddit, so I blame them for that.
If it looks cool, like if they're watching the show and like I kind of just catch it and everything like that, then I'll get turned on to it.
And my roommate, for example, will like, she'll be sitting in the living room and I'll be in my room. She'll like message me on Facebook, like take this quiz or like do this, and or she'll be like, oh my gosh, go on Facebook like right now and look at this.
Talked about how some of the shows you watched, the reactions to the episode, like play on Facebook, or I'm so excited for the season premiere tonight. And so that's like, oh, so-and-so plus all 14 other people have shared a link to this thing. Maybe I should tune into this show.
It's super annoying, or the people who you're like watching the show like not together, but they post if you're like an hour late like watching the show, they'll post on Facebook or Twitter, like whatever, and I'm like, I haven't seen it yet. Like,
Are there any programs particularly that you all tend to watch in groups and things, or, I mean, yeah, a lot. Okay.
Yeah. Especially if they're on cable, because then you find the person who has cable and then you go to their house and bring everybody over.
if I was gonna sit here and watch a movie by myself, I'd rather invite someone over, and if I'm gonna invite someone over, I'd want to go get popcorn and like enjoy it, so I make an event out of it.
I watch Dance Moms every Tuesday at 9.
Okay.
My friends and I like all love it, so we usually get together and watch it together on Tuesdays.
The Institute of Black Culture, even here at UF, on university, they had a group scandal viewing for the season premiere.
Oh, okay.
It was just full of people.
I took a group trip down to Miami maybe last month or so, and we took my car, and everyone was complaining because like they didn't want to listen to my CDs, they didn't like my music, I guess, but they were like, oh yeah, let's plug in the iPhone, but like I didn't have a cord, but people expect it.
Right. Yeah.
Like at
So I know
this
a lot of
point-
the newer cars have that.
Yeah, and like they were annoyed by it.
I'll get on Spotify on my phone and just plug in. I'll hook it up in my car for Bluetooth and stuff too.
Maybe I'll get like 20 minutes of radio consumption a week.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So most of the time you're listening to CDs, but you're saying if
Right, if that's not accessible, or if somebody doesn't have the auxiliary cord to plug the phone in,
Okay.
we'll go for
then you'll do traditional radio.
Mhm.
Okay.
The aux cord or whatever, that's important. A radio. An emergency brake, I don't know.
That's why, you know, when I get a new car, I want something that will have like an auxiliary cable so I can just plug my phone in and listen to like what I want to listen to, because the radio is just, I'm just tired of hearing the same songs over and over again. It's like, it's really annoying.
Another thing that's interesting for me too is I actually gone back to listening to radio because I've been listening to Spotify in the car all this time. It's the EDM station in Gainesville. I think it's like Party 103 or something.
Oh, okay.
So what's funny is that now I've actually gone back to listening to radio because like I'm so into EDM. So like I would listen to that radio. If I had to listen to radio, I would listen to that station only in Gainesville. So.
Okay.
And where would connectivity fit into that list of things that you consider important to have?
It definitely go below safety, just because that's probably the first thing you should be worried about when you're in a car. Safety, and then just because I'm kind of a car guy, I'd want it to be like a nice car, and then have like music and maybe like internet or something, and then the Bluetooth, which could be your music anyway, but then the Bluetooth and like GPS and all that.
I've seen advertisements for cars, and it looks like they have an iPad built into the front, to the display, and it's just like, it's too much, I like a car for a car. Some people will completely disagree, and they'll say, they want to be able to have everything at their fingertips even while driving, or even for the passengers in the car, so to speak. It's not only for the driver, but I wouldn't even want like TVs in the back of the seats of my cars. Like I want the car for what it is.
Would you be willing to pay for a data plan to have connectivity in your car to be able to do all the things you would do elsewhere?
Safe, I mean,
Yeah, no, I don't. There's no point.
No, I mean, unless that was the only way to stream the music, sure, but at the same time, I've got so much data from my phone that if I just plugged it in, it would be the same. So, yeah, no.
No.
Why not?
Because I don't really, I have the radio, and I also have my phone that I can just plug in, and I'm not gonna like spend too much time like looking things up while I'm driving in my car, so I don't really see a need for it.
We're poor college students.
Yeah. Ask us in 10 years.
Yeah, right.
Okay, all right, here you
Maybe
go.
25.
I lost it for like a week towards the beginning of the semester, and I thought I was gonna die every single day.
In society, it's like you have to be so accessible at all times, and if someone like tries to like contact me, and if I don't get back to them within like an hour, it's like they automatically assume something's wrong.
I went to Honduras for 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
The first 3 days, I was like, my phone. Like, I didn't have service, I didn't have Wi-Fi, and I'm like, my phone. My mom would be like, did you miss the United States already. I'm like, no, it just means my phone.
It's kind of relaxing once you get past the initial anxiety of the fact that people can't get in contact with you.
I've grown to be dependent on it, and I've kind of accepted the fact that I am. It's just, it contains everything. It's synced up with my laptop so that the schedules match up, my calendars match up, my notes match up, my contacts, my emails.
The Reddit app, which is weird on Windows Phone, it's called Baconit. I think it's like alien blue on iPhone. That's what most people have.
First and foremost is Twitter on my phone. When I'm bored, I'm just like sitting on the bus or something, I'll scroll through it.
SoundCloud for me.
Instagram. So
I love the map apps on my phone because it gives me directions to anywhere I need to go.
I do use like the email apps, like Gmail has its own, I'll use that.
Okay.
I use like a calendar a lot to keep track of daily things, and that's all in addition to like the Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat.
The RTS bus app is great because it gives you live locations of the buses on campus.
Flappy Birds.
Okay.
I don't use it, but I know a lot of people do.
Use the weather app.
I use
the weather app.
The weather app, okay.
I use every once in a while I use Sports Center. That way I can use, that's me personally.
Oh, like your bank account.
Yeah,
That's a good
bank
thing.
account.
Yeah.
LinkedIn, new thing, love it. There's an app for it. I really like it.
I downloaded a sleep cycle app by word of mouth that worked great, and I still use it.
And then phone apps, I'll actually go to the app store. That's like something I do. I go and like search for apps that are interesting and new.
I just go on Twitter and I got to go on tech blogs. And like they would just talk about like, what's new and what's like hot.
A lot of times it's my girlfriend. I don't know why. She just finds like the random apps and games and stuff.
I don't want to be like that person taking pictures with an iPad. Like I'm still good with my phone.
So this is like a tablet, I guess, but I never hardly, unless I'm reading an article or like something for school, I never am like using it as a tablet part. I'm usually just using it as like a little netbook.
I bring my iPad to class because it's smaller than my laptop. I have like the iPad mini, and I just like take notes on that or use it for the internet or emails.
I watch a lot of YouTube videos on it instead of like having my laptop and like in my bed with me because it's heavy and big and whatever. I'll just take my iPad. My phone's too little.
I think they're just giant phones, honestly, in my opinion. I don't have one. I can see why they'd be useful.
Well, I would never like replace my laptop with it. Because I know some people do that. They just are kind of like, I just want a small thing now, but like you can do so much more on your laptop.
Yeah, I don't personally have a tablet or iPad, but I don't see the necessity.
For everything that I can do on my tablet, I can do on my phone, and that's smaller. Like via Twitter, let's say CNN posts something about like the missing Malaysia plane. People comment on that or like they tweet at it, and you see what other people are saying also, and there's comments on the actual like article that like is linked to it. So it's just, I feel like it gives you a more in-depth look at events as opposed to just watching it on TV.
And I always find out first through Twitter because people are like updating it so constantly.
Previously, I had news apps on my phone. I had the NPR app downloaded, and I would read occasionally stories on there, but it just got to the point where I wasn't using it, so I deleted it. And Huffington Post, I'll log on to there pretty frequently.
Sometimes I'll go like on CNN and stuff, but for the most part, everything comes from Facebook.
Yeah.
You just like, oh, pray for Boston, like you said. Like that's where I first heard about it.
Facebook through the phone or whatever. It's like, because it's with you now, like then. But yes, I do get like CNN, New York Times, Fox News, like notifications sent to me as well.
I remember I found out about the Colorado shooting, the Batman guy or whatever, via Twitter, and then I immediately turned on my TV and started watching it there because like they were covering it on like every single channel. If I think it's something worth reading or looking into, I'll like retweet it or I'll tag some of my friends who I think would be interested in things like that. But it would have to be something that I feel, very strongly about.
I guess if it was big enough, then I'd go and like share it on Facebook.
Unless it's something that's like absolutely shocking that I feel like no one else has posted about, then I will. But that's very rare.
MySpace.
Okay.
Don't even say it, but MySpace is completely like gone.
Okay, wow. MySpace? Is that a thing?
MySpace.
MySpace, okay.
So far gone.
And there's this thing called Spring Me. It was like the old form Spring, to ask like anonymous questions to people online. I feel like no one really uses that anymore.
Oh, you know what's something that I've always thought was lame? Tinder.
Okay.
I can't hang with that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, AOL Mail, probably.
AOL
I feel like
Mail?
AOL.
Okay.
Oh, AOL Instant Messenger. Forgot about that one.
If you could design a perfect media device or platform, what would it be?
It'd be a lot like my phone.
I think they already have it. It's like, it's the combination of the laptop and a tablet.
Something that doesn't get ruined by water.
Something that's easy to use and easily transportable.
Just durability in general. Like they use glass and that can shatter. I've shattered so many phones.
Yeah, so maybe if it has USB ports too, a lot of them, a lot of USB ports, always a lot of USB ports.
And something with more space, obviously. Like storage has always been an issue for me because I take a lot of pictures.
I guess it would have to be like small and portable, but just like crazy, weird futuristic stuff, but like have to be small obviously, but then you'd have to be able to make it big.
I think a lot of people find it easier to like to be on their phone than have a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, like how many people, if you go into a classroom, are just sitting there on their phone instead of talking to the people around them.
I have friends who are so afraid to call someone on the phone, even if it's me. That's really, it's weird.
I'm very sarcastic, and sometimes that doesn't come across in text. And then like people get offended, and I have to explain to them, I was just joking, like it's just sarcasm.
Right.
If I was talking to them, I could use a tone or voice or whatever to like get my message across differently.
Back in the day, you had to go find somebody and just be like, hey, I think you're good looking. Do you want to go do whatever? And now it's like it's all set up on Facebook, and you get to check them out and see what they're like before you even say a word to them.
I think that even though we're moving into this like typed kind of communication and like some kind of way where you're not with a person, it's still not gonna, we're always gonna have to work with people for the rest of our lives. So like that's not gonna go away.
I try to do more face-to-face interaction just because it's different than like, being on Facebook, you can act however you want. Like people put on a front and act all big and tough on Facebook, and then you get in an argument with someone, you'll say things you probably wouldn't say in person, but you're on Facebook, it's just, you're reading it. And then when you get in front of that person, it's completely different. And I don't know, just people are so used to like acting one way on Facebook, and then in person, on Facebook they might act like this super happy, like always, energetic person. And you meet them in person, they're just like more like mellow and stuff. So I don't know, it's just different, like the way you get to know people nowadays. Like for me, I meet more people on Facebook, and then I end up running into them. I'm like, hey, I know you. Oh, you're my Facebook friend. And then that's how I really start like getting to know them on a more personal level. But I think it's just changing every day, like the way people interact.